So a month ago, Realme released their first flagship product, the Realme X2 Pro. A very, very good first attempt from Realme. I think this phone may have stolen the crown for the best flagship killer smartphone of this year. The Realme X2 Pro introduces a ton of upgraded hardware. It's difficult not to compare this phone to the Redmi K20 Pro, which was, in my opinion, the best flagship killer we got this year until this phone came out. The screen itself features that 20:9 aspect ratio, which we're going to see in more and more phones in 2020. Yes, it does have a notch at the top, so it is not a bezel-less display, but the fact that the screen is bigger and taller, you actually get more or less the same screen real estate anyway. The notch is also a lot smaller than we've seen previous notches to be. Once you use the phone for a couple of days, you just forget that it's there. Other than that, the design on the phone is very solid and it looks very much like an Oppo phone. Of course, using the Oppo production lines and different materials from Oppo, it will do. Stereo speakers on this phone are just fantastic. That is something it has over the K20 series. If you are into gaming and you'll be buying a phone like this, stereo speakers make such a big difference when you're playing games. It doesn't have wireless charging, but to be honest, I've not missed it in the month. The battery is big, lasts a long time. Plus, you get that 50-watt fast charging, which honestly is incredibly quick. I'm used to charging phones overnight, but this one I never did. When I woke up in the morning, I used to plug it in for about half an hour, and you'd get so much charge to last you. I personally like Color OS. I think it is incredibly simple, and with the 90Hz refresh rate display, feels incredibly snappy. Some people could call it basic in the way that the animations happen. For example, when you pull down from the top of the screen, there really isn't an animation, the screen just changes. Whether you like that or not will be up to you. You really get used to a 90Hz display, and when I changed away from the Realme X2 Pro back to 60Hz display smartphones, it really did feel different and a little bit sluggish and choppy compared. If you're a power user or into gaming or just want to future-proof your smartphone, then the 90Hz display on this phone is just a great addition. There's a quad camera on this phone which gives you everything you need: an ultra wide, a 64 megapixel main sensor, and a 2x zoom camera. You can go into 5x hybrid zoom in the camera app, which is very useful. Overall, the camera is not competing with the very best phones out there, but it is incredibly solid and for the price point really punches above its weight. Whether you like the images out of the phone, whether you like the exposure or the color science is really up to you. One thing I loved about the phone is when taking video, it was so easy to switch between recording video on the ultra wide, the main camera, 2x zoom, or even into 5x zoom. You could change it incredibly easily just by pressing a button in the camera app, and you could do that all while recording. You didn't have to stop recording to change to a different camera and then start again. Video on the selfie camera is shaky, however, and that's just something that just didn't ever come out well for me. The X2 Pro is powerful. A Snapdragon 855, the best chipset you can get right now, and it really shows with everything, not just gaming, but general snappiness, loading things onto the phone, downloading things. Literally everything is helped by having the best processor you can get. When it comes to gameplay, I played PUBG on the highest settings with the high refresh rate mode. When I went back to other phones that didn't have these settings, it really did show. I was really used to the absolute smoothest settings on PUBG. Without a shadow of a doubt, it gives you a much better experience. With high refresh rate mode, the Snapdragon 855 Plus and the 90Hz screen, it is one of the best phones I've used for gaming, save for those really specialist gaming phones. Haptics also really improve the experience, not just the stereo speakers and the 90Hz refresh rate display, but having good haptics on this phone that are on par with the top Oppo devices is really great. If you're looking for a flagship killer, this literally has everything you could possibly want, and it's been a great experience using the X2 Pro for a month. Subscribe for all the latest tech videos and everything to do with Realme. That's it for now, but I'll see you in the next one.